You're like, be like me saying I want to get bigger and stronger, but I never go to the gym. That's just insanity, right? That doesn't make any sense. You have to do the work. You'll get better, but you also have to have that inner confidence wherever you are today. To just say, you know what, like you guys are all speaking English and we're all communicating, we're having fun. You all understand what I'm saying. I understand what you are saying. Perfect, amazing. Just that, I don't know if that answered your question or makes you feel better, but yeah, it comes back to that confidence. That's something that you need to generate within yourself and that you need to find within yourself. And there's lots of ways to do that. That actually leads us in nicely to, I'm going to talk for a little bit just about some pointers, just some simple things that we can do to get all of those amazing C words. Well, not the Chinglish, but to have clarity, confidence, to have concentration, to have charisma. So first thing, nerves are normal. So I mentioned that, right? I mentioned this amazing book, Feel the Fear. You'll always be afraid. The fear doesn't go anywhere. So having nerves is normal. I mentioned Novak Djokovic, the great tennis player, and how he said just at the last Wimbledon final, he said, I was very nervous. One of the, I don't know whether any of you, if anyone here has watched it, you'll get another big thumbs up from me, but our most famous comedy TV show in the United Kingdom, which ran from sort of the 80s, the 1980s to like the early noughties, so it's been 20 years since it broadcast, was a TV show called Only Fools and Horses. And the lead actor was a man, David Jason, just an incredible actor, incredible man. It's the funniest show ever for us Brits. And he said in his autobiography, in his book about his life, and he said, we used to get terrible nerves before we would film a session, film an episode. And you're like, how's that? It's not surprising once you know the secret, right? As humans, we feel things. It's what makes us so great. We feel, we care, right? We're not robots. We're not just like robots. Yes, I'm 10 million people. I am giving a talk. I do not feel anything. No, you feel excitement. You feel fear. So that's fine. So just knowing that helps you because it empowers you, right? To know it's not normal. It's not normal to feel fear. It's completely normal. When you're public speaking, here's the second thing. It's not about me tonight. So I'm talking from my perspective tonight. I'm presenting to you guys tonight, right? How do we get better? Let's all learn a little bit. It's not about me. Why is it so great for me to speak to you all tonight? Well, because I've got a China story, right? I lived there. I speak a little bit. I understand a little bit about your amazing culture and the food. And I was going to say, why are you drinking that red tea? Where's the proper tea? Come on, where's the proper Chinese tea? So it's not about me. It's about you guys. So whenever you're speaking in a business setting, in a work setting, whatever it may be, it's not about you. It's about, so from my perspective tonight, it's not about me. It's about you guys. Remove yourself from the equation, right? We have the word ego, is it zasa? No, that would be selfish. Zerwar, yes. So it's not about yourself in a situation. It's about what you bring. Third thing, and this kind of comes back to some of try to get some structure. Try to have, tonight I've got a structure to understand, okay, we'll try to move through this. 4, you've got to be adaptable, right, when you're speaking in any situation. So tonight I'm trying to respond in real time. So if you raise a question, if you say something, if we do, right? As you all know, plans, you can have the best plans, but in life comes along and goes, plans? No, I don't recognize those plans. And something happens, the fire alarm goes off, something happens. So you always have to be ready to adapt. And this comes back to a sort of a full, does anyone play chess? No. Yeah. Oh, yes. You play chess. Are you good?
No.
Oh, okay. We'll play some games. If you say, yes, I'm very good, I say, no, I don't play with you. If you say, no, oh, yeah, go on, let's play. Play chess, right? You have to see the whole board. There's 64 squares, but you can't just look at one little section of the board, right? You have to have what we call full board awareness. You're aware of the total board. Well, of course, performing or speaking in any situation, you have to be conscious of what's happening. You have to look at your audience like I'm doing now. and going, okay, who's bored? Who's with me? Who's paying attention? How are they feeling? What's the energy in the room? So that's something to bear in mind. This comes back to let your personality come through. Be yourself. Show who you are and be vulnerable to people, because people love that. People love when you just share who you are. You don't try to be anything. You just be yourself. So me, it's easy because I'm just big energy and I'm just, bouncy and happy. But I be that. And, sometimes I can be like, oh, I'm not sure if people like that. No, you have to be yourself and you have to show who you are to people. Tell stories, use humor. That comes back to what I was saying, right? It's about having fun. Let's try to have some fun and learn at the same time. I'm doing this right now because I'm reading from this, but I kind of need to try not to use a script if you can. So as much as possible, try to do what I'm trying to do tonight, which is to just speak from the heart and the mind, using some prompts, but try to speak looking at you all and not just be, you ever been to a presentation and the person is just like, point A says this, point B says this, point C says this, point D. They never even look at you. And it's just like, I could have just read that myself. We didn't need the presentation. I could have just read that. So try to, if you can, body language, which we're going to come to shortly. Let's learn with our body language, right? So, and like I said, we're going to get to that very shortly. But just learn. When I go to the gym, I don't know why I do this, but when I'm at the gym doing a workout, I look at people, and so many people, they kind of just anywhere. You can, when you go out later to go home after this, you'll notice people on the tube, and a lot of people, they kind of, it's a way of life. You've got to learn to have your head up, your chin up, your chest out, and it's the way you feel about yourself, right? How you physically hold your body actually tells your brain how to feel. If you physically are like that, it tells your brain, oh, life's terrible. Oh, I hate my life. Oh, everything, I'm so sad. And if you go like this, it's almost impossible to feel that way because your body is telling, yes, I'm strong. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to appreciate life and to enjoy life. And final thing is grab attention. So just try to make an impact and use, like I tried to do it, some stats and some facts and figures, but just be fun. Like I said, it just keeps coming back to that word fun for me. If you try to be fun, try to do things that are interesting. Don't just be boring and just read, okay, these are the 10 things about public speaking. Question: who here has a performer or a public speaker that you like?
Beijing. Xiaomi.
Xiaomi.
Yeah, the CEO of Beijing.
The CEO of
Xiaomi.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. And what do you like about them?
His story is very inspiring.
So he's got an inspiring story.
He always tell what problem he's facing and how and his team solve the problem. Make you feel very good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So he uses his story.
Yeah.
So big. So let's write some more things up. Let's put that up. That's great. So he uses. We'll just put these. Bring down. Try another one. There we go. Okay. So Stan has started with story. Stan's story. So now you have to come up with words that begin with S. That inspire you. Inspiring words about speakers or performers. Could be a singer. 你问我爱你有多深? Come on, somebody must have someone that they like.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, he's coming to London, isn't he? He's doing a talk. Yeah, he's doing a talk at the O2. My mentor, I have a mentor, and long story short, he's been invited by one of Barack Obama's closest aides to get involved with him. I'm going to put Barack Obama. What do you like about Obama?
I think he was ranked as the most successful time for public speaker.
Yeah. But what do you like about him?
I think he's speaking is very
Charming.
yeah.
Okay. You're going with C, aren't you? You're trying to get us back to C.
Yeah.
I thought we said S. We can say with C. Yeah, it's very charming.
Mm.
And where does that come from, right? When you look at someone and you say they're charming, what is it that they're doing that makes you feel they're charming?
His knowledge, the way he talks, his body language. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
those things.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so basically kind of all the things we're discussing tonight. I would say it's that a charming person, they just learn to make you feel happy and comfortable. Oh, that's a nice person. They make me feel, they talk about nice things. They're interested in me. When you speak to a charming person, say, oh, hey, how are you doing? Oh, yeah, what's happening with you? How's life? Oh, how was the tennis match? Did you win? Like, you feel important, don't you? That's what charming person does. They make you feel special. It's not about them. And right, so that comes back to what I was saying. Whenever you're talking, it's not about you, which is a paradox, right? That word, because it's like, well, I'm doing the talking. No, it's not about me. It's about you guys. What do I want all of you to feel, to learn, to feel happy, to learn something, to walk out of here tonight and go, that was a nice workshop. I learned some things. I felt some nice things. I met some nice people. So that's what charming is, right? One more. Anyone else have? John and Shirley. No limit. Trump. Oh my goodness me. Everyone's going to move away this end of the room.
I think he has his own charisma.
Well, that is very true. Yeah, he does.
His gesture, his body language, and he's using plain English to make average, ordinary people understand.
That's true.
Yeah. Right. And he survived from the, killing,
Yes.
assassination, and even in the last United Nations Assembly, he made a public speech with the machine word prompter
Yeah.
stopped working, but he know what he wanted to say. He knew. So very well prepared, do a lot of rehearsal. It doesn't depend on the word prompter.
Yeah.
The machine
I don't know whether that's what they're using, but in English, there's the old term at that level. That's called a teleprompter. Right, it's like television, but teleprompter, and it's just coming up with the talk for them. Yeah. Well, that goes back. A great point. Exactly. I would say it's both of those things, right, John? He's well prepared. It also comes back to this passion. He knows what he believes. He's talking from the heart.
This way, that way.
He gets the flag, he gets the American flag, he kisses the flag, goes, I love it. And
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean
And Charlie Chaplin.
and Charlie Chaplin. Wow, great. Yeah, Mr. Bean. Does everyone know who Mr. Bean is? With the little mini? And Charlie Chaplin is from many, many years ago. But just going back to Trump, John, yeah, he knows his material, so he knows it, and these two things go hand in hand, but he's also super passionate, right? That's why he could talk about it. If the teleprompter goes, oh, okay, it would be like me tonight. These notes are very useful and they are helping guide our session together. But if they had been lost or stolen, I could still have performed, right? And you could argue it would be even better, if that makes any sense, because it would just be purely from the heart, whereas at the moment I'm kind of using them. So those two go together. You have to have the passion and the knowledge. If you're talking about being a quant, numbers, data, analytics, right? That's something, it becomes a part of you. You end up just knowing. It's like if you go and try and tell the average person, they're just, after 10 seconds, they're just, okay, all right, yeah, their brain can't understand what you're talking about, but you. And so then when you combine expertise with the passion, and you have passion for what you do, well, then you're Trump. He's a 70 or whatever year old man that's been a billionaire for many, many years, businesses, things, golf courses, building, property. And he just loves life, right? He loves power. He loves leading. He loves change. He loves making things happen. So if you get a mic in front of him, yeah, he'll have his notes, which will help him. But if you take those notes away, we'll just speak anyway. It'll probably be even better because he's just speaking purely from the heart.
He also keeps the conservative value.
Conservative.
There is only two gender
Yeah.
for the human being, men or women. That's good. That's good, I think.
There's a good conversation with John about Trump after this.
I just remember a recent experience. So obviously we go to church every Sunday, so there's public speaking in church every Sunday that we listen to. And one of the reasons why I really enjoy going to the church that we go to is because I really appreciate the pastor's Archie's preaching style.
Yeah.
So for the last 2 weeks, I decided to check out another church, and and just such contrast. So I really like about Pastor Archie's preaching. He's very calm. It's very well thought through. So that makes a good speech when the speaker has really prepared and thought about the topic. You can tell when someone is very well prepared, and I like the calmness, like just like you're very calm tonight. You're teaching us something, but I feel like the energy is very it flows really well. Like you feel comfortable, and you feel like the person who's speaking really knows what they're talking about, and they put a lot of effort into preparing. So that to me is a very great experience as an audience. You feel like you learn something, and your speaker really puts a lot of effort into making sure that you get a good understanding of the other church I went to recently. It's not because they're not good or I didn't get anything out of the preaching, but it was too too hyped up, too much energy, too forced. So although I got some message, but the overall experience as an audience wasn't relaxing or calming.
Yeah.
So that I just remember this contrast I experienced recently between different styles of speaking.
Yeah, and that's great. That's a really good thought and share around generally what we could probably all allow the message to come through clearly. It also is your personal taste, right? That you maybe don't like the too hyper. I can be hyper, but in a setting where you're sharing and you're talking, you don't want to be so hyper that the message gets lost and that people are more distracted, right? With the jazz hands, that you're actually missing what I'm saying and what the message is, and hopefully touching your heart or your learning or whatever. So, guys, I realized I didn't do something, and I need to make sure, because I need to put the names up so that I can address you all by name. I know some of your English name. Edward, right. Okay. What's going on with these pens? We need new management in here. Edward, Julie.
对，我刚才想说这个能不能放到这边呢？
These pens are terrible. Lynn. Laura, yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah. John. Early, John. We're going to use up all their pens. They're going to hate us. Mark. Peter, and of course our host, Stan the man. Okay. So kind of like invisible ink. Can't even see it, but that's fine. Good. So, like anything, we have to learn from people. So I learned from certain people that are great inspiration to me. Now, in the sake of time, I want to try and get as much into the last half hour. Stage fright. So we talked about being in the spotlight, in the center, and how that's scary. The second, Julie, the second, I can talk with a group and fine, but the second that I've got the spotlight, I freeze up, I clam up, I'm like, oh, what do I do? So, overcoming stage fright. So the first thing is preparation. Very simple, right? Same for anything. If you're going on a journey, what did I do tonight before I came here, right? I live in Earl's Court. You've come from all over London, different parts, right? I live in Earl's Court. What do I do? Well, I look on my phone, I look at the map, I go, oh, it's near Tower Bridge, okay, Tower Hill. Okay, I walk to the station at Earl's Court, I get on the district line, I go all the way across the Tower Hill, I get off, I walk up, right? You prepare, you plan. So whenever you are going to do something, you do a bit of preparation. It's very simple. Rehearse. We have aids like my notes. You can have props, visual props that will remind you of things. So that's the preparation. The second thing, and this is so key. I was speaking to someone recently who, is an incredible person, and they were talking about breathing. Right? How much do you focus on your breathing? Today in the gym, I just remembered as well, speaking to one of my training buddies, and he was saying, focus on your breathing, Matt. He says, I'm doing the leg raises for my abs. And he says, you're like holding your breath. He's like, breathe. I'm like, I can't breathe. He's like, just breathe. Oh, so much better, so much. So guess what? When we're performing anywhere, but just full stop. Tonight, first exercise. When you leave here in a little while and you're going home, focus on your breathing. I don't know if maybe one of you's even driven here, but truly walking, whatever. Start to become conscious of your breathing. Most of us don't use our breathing very well. I know that I didn't for many years, but probably about 5 years ago, I don't know, I think I read a lot of things. I went to some workshops and I just became very conscious to just always just keep that consciousness with the breath and just allow yourself to always breathe deeply, to breathe consciously. So with that, let's do a little breathing technique. So close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. And you're going to just, when I give the signal, we'll practice a little very simple breathing technique. And it just helps you to get better at your breathing. And of course, this will help you whenever you're performing, because you can just remember, just slow down, just breathe. So we'll breathe in through our nose for 4 seconds. When I tell, we'll do it together. We'll breathe in through our nose for 4 seconds. We'll hold it for 4 seconds. And then you breathe out through your mouth for 4 seconds, and you learn how to get that rhythm. So let's go. Breathe in through your nose, 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. You hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you release through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. In through the nose. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then release through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in through the nose. Hold. 2, 3, 4, and release. And have a lie down, I think. Very relaxed after that. Wow. So you see the breathing is so crucial, because it's, guess what the breathing is? The breathing, right? Breathing, the breath, is the only function that we have as humans that sits between consciousness and unconscious, subconscious, right? Right? Think about it. Your hand moves consciously. I want to move my hand, wave my hand, so I'm doing it. Blinking. You can make yourself blink, but as in normally you're just blinking. Breath is the one thing that sits between the two. You breathe unconsciously all the time, obviously, but you can also bring a lot of consciousness to it as well at the same time. Whereas most things are one or the other. It's either a conscious thing like moving your hand, or your heart, which just beats of its own accord unconsciously. So the breath that's why it's able to bring such great attention. So when it comes to performing, sometimes I didn't feel nerves tonight. I think because you all look so lovely, so friendly. So I just felt very calm. I wasn't afraid. But sometimes if I feel afraid or anxious or nervous, I very much have practiced that breathing. I just will take a few moments before I go out in front of people, and I'll just be like, just get that breathing, just allow that breathing to settle your nerves, settle your body, and be conscious of that. Another thing around that sort of idea is silence. Learn to embrace silence. What's it doing? Why is it not saying? Just embrace the silence. It's fine. So it's about bringing. You said it right, great, Shirley. Like what you like about our vicar, our pastor, our church, Archie Coates, lovely men. Right? Be calm. And but there's practices, and the breathing's connected to it. And then a third thing for overcoming stage fright, or something that you can use, is it comes back to, has anyone ever heard of a guy called Simon Sinek? And he has a talk, Know Your Why, a book. Right? You have to reconnect. It comes back to some of the words that we've been talking about tonight: passion, joy. Like, why are you doing this? So if tonight I had started to get afraid, or I started to get like, oh, what am I doing? Or why am I doing? Right? I would have to come back to myself. And tonight I didn't forget. I was really excited to be here with you. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see all these wonderful people. Must have a great workshop together about public speaking. I remember, why am I even doing this? I'm doing this because I care. I'm doing this because I love this. So you have to connect to that. And you know, when we just closed our eyes. So close your eyes again, folks. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to visualize. So the power of us, right, as human beings, is that we can imagine things in our minds. We can see beautiful things. We can create things. So what I want you to do is I want you to just take the next few moments and imagine yourself on a big stage, or anywhere. It could be a wedding. Maybe you're getting married, or you want to get married one day, and you want to speak to your guests, to your audience, your friends and family and loved ones, 200 people, 300 people. I know how you do those weddings over in China. I mean, they're just crazy. Imagine yourself wherever it is that you want to be having a great talk or a great speech or whatever, and just see yourself there, confident, powerful. And this is the power. Keep your eyes closed. This is the power of visualization. You can imagine it, you can see it, and you can create it in your mind before it happens. You're ready, guys. Come back to the room. And then the third thing within the enthusiasm, the joy, is know your why. Know why you're doing this, and have that visualized success. Do you know the top athletes, the top sportsmen and women, they use visualization, right, a lot. Like the Formula One drivers, they can literally sit there and they know the entire track, right, in their mind. And they're just like, like we do as boys, right, when we're playing, imaginary driving a Formula One car. Yeah. So powerful, so we've got all these techniques to do. And the final thing, of course, it just comes back to a general technique, which is that we have to boost our mindset. So we've got to be living positive lives. You've got to read positive things, do positive things, speak to positive people. So if you're going to do a performance or a talk or a little presentation at work, how about this? Why not speak to one of your good friends and say, John, I'm giving a presentation tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Could I call you at 10:45 a.m. and we have a 2-minute call, a 5-minute call, and you just give me some gas, Jayo, give me some gas, give me some oil. Yeah, of course, obviously, yeah, of course, give me a call, right? Like sometimes it's such simple things, but you have to use these techniques, you have to use these tools, like simple things, but they'll help you to perform. Speak to someone that really supports you, cares for you. Like, come on, you're going to crush this, you're going to kill this, go on, do that. So those are some techniques and some ideas for stage fright. Body language. Everybody sit up straight in your chair, no slouching. There we go, that's it. You can slouch in a minute, but just for 1 minute, we will sit up. So that's it, yeah, get your body upright. How does that feel, right? Is there a difference in what your neurology responds to your physiology? Right, when you physically stand up straight, you can't feel the same as when you're slouching. It's literally impossible, because your body sends signals to your brain, right, all the time about what's happening in space and time. So what is happening is what your brain responds to. So our posture gives our brain signals. So head up, chin up. Your hands, right? Your hands support your message. Do you know sometimes I see people in front of big crowds, and do you know how they give a talk? Guess where their hands are? Yeah, that's one. Like an angry child. Guess what's the other one? What's the other classic? In their pockets, right? Giving a talk like this in front of 1,000 people. Yeah, so, yeah, no, yeah, but hands, especially, I don't mean, maybe it doesn't sound right, but, man, your hands have to be here, and you're using your hands to express the total energy of what you're conveying, that you're sharing, and that you're alive. Has anyone ever had good friends that are Italian? I've got some good friends who are saying, goodness me, they talk with their hands. They don't need to say anything. Right? Maybe not that much, but use your hands. The next thing is eyes. This young man is so nice. It's a shame he couldn't join us, Derek.
Yeah.
He came in. I'm going to be telling all my friends about this tomorrow, by the way, guys. He came in, he said, Matt, you have beautiful eyes. He said, no, they're so blue. I said, oh, well. My mum gave them to me. But look at people in the eyes, right? Have you noticed I do that? I'll give myself a little bit of credit for tonight. I'm looking at you all, not looking down, not looking at the carpet, not looking up, looking. That's how we connect, right? We look each other in the face and we read the face. We feel that connection to someone, Ma, Peter, and it's, yes, I care about you. I want to connect with you. Movement. I don't need to stand here like a statue, right? I don't know about kids in China, but we played the game. You can't move when we were children. No, you're allowed to move. You're allowed to get active, show that energy, show that, but don't allow that to take away from your message, right? It's a fine balance. Don't do things, you're talking about people being too hyper. Don't allow things to take away from the message, but show some energy as well. And then the final thing on here is show some warmth. And what's one of the easiest ways to show some warmth? Is to smile. Smile. Make sure you've brushed your teeth. I always get stuff stuck in my teeth all the time, so don't know why, but smile at people, show people that you care, that we're all having fun. So I have a fun activity. Everybody stand up. Imagine that we're going to take a photo. Actually, I will take a photo, yeah. Take a photo. Let me actually take a photo. And funny pose, rock star, tennis player, I don't know. What do you want to do? Take a...
This is.
That's it. Oh, okay. Oh, come on, you guys can do that. Do better than that. 3, 2, 1. Jayo. Oh boy. Okay. We've got to work on that. We've got to work on that. That was all right. Sit down, guys. Thank you. The voice. The voice. Oh, this is actually great. I'm actually going to finish my notes. The voice. So we talked about overcoming stage fright. We've talked about body language. The voice. Well, when you talk, okay, hands, movement, okay, body language, great. But what actually conveys the message, right? As in literally, directly, your voice, your voice, your voice. One of the guys, I follow a guy on Instagram. I think he's in Australia, but I think maybe his original ethnicity of his family is like Vietnam or something, like Binh Chiang or something. Cool guy, and he's a great communicator. And I love something that he says. He says sometimes we talk about the voice and we call it a tool like a screwdriver or a hammer. He said, no, that's too, that limits the beauty of the voice. You know how I mentioned how I have an ex-girlfriend, wonderful Chinese girl. She was a singer. The voice is what? It's an instrument. It's not a tool. It's an instrument, which is a higher conceptual thing, right? A tool is just it has a use, a utility, right? A hammer can hit things. Voice is an instrument. It's a piano. Do you know this will make you all very proud and happy to be Chinese. Do you know the best performance that I've ever been to was by whom? There's a hint in that. It was one individual. Well, he had a few. So it was Lang Lang at the Royal Albert Hall at the Proms. And he also had he had his father who played on the erhu. And he also had at that time, this was like well over 10 years ago, a young Chinese-American boy called Mark Yu, who they played a Schubert duet for 20 minutes. I mean, it makes me cry just thinking about it. Incredible, incredible. Your voice is like that piano that Lang Lang can just write. He can just create things. You're like, how? Like, it's impossible. Your voice, it's not static. You don't have to speak like this every time you speak in the same voice. And you can speak high, you can speak low. You can use it and to be creative. And one of the great things, and I'll send out an email with some resources and some things later, Stanley. But one of the things that this guy always says, and I like it, your voice is not static. So many people, as in basically everyone, they think that they just speak the same way. That's how they always speak. No, your voice is just a habit, right? The same way that your weight, if you want to get slimmer and fitter, nobody goes, oh, no, I can't do that. That's impossible. My weight is my weight. Like, are you crazy? No, you can change your diet. You can work out more. Well, your voice is something that you can change, that you can adapt. So if you find yourself being a bit shy, a bit quiet, just start speaking a bit more firmly, a bit more loudly. And it will sound weird at first. It will feel weird because you'll be like, this isn't me. You'll feel like an imposter, right? You'll be like, what am I doing? No, it's just a habit. If you speak like this all the time, and you feel like you want to be a bit more imposing, a bit more confident, a bit more powerful, well, just practice it. Just try speaking a bit louder. Play with the way that you use your voice. So this is something that most of us don't even think about. And I'm really glad that I found this guy online because for me, it's natural. I love talking, as you can probably all tell. That's why, and I love it. But for most of us, it's not natural. And we just feel like the way that we speak and the way we present that's it, and it will never change. But it can change. And before we go on to the last little section, and I'm not sure, we'll probably it's coming up for 8 o'clock and we're due to finish. Is everyone okay if we just run over a tiny bit? Before we do that, I'm going to practice what I preach. And I feel very nervous all of a sudden. So I've got to remember the whole workshop. It's all just gone out of my mind. I'm going to sing you all the Chinese song. Oh, I breathe. I'm visualizing success. Now, I'm going to sing you a Chinese song. And I'm trying to decide which song to sing. So I know several, but I think I can probably only do 2 off my heart. 月亮代表我的心 or 朋友 by Zhou Huajian. Zhou Huajian is a beautiful man, by the way. I've met him and had dinner with him. He's an incredible, incredible man. And actually, I'll sing 朋友 because I love that song. And it's such a beautiful song. I met Zhou Huajian, so as I said, my ex-girlfriend, and we went to dinner, and it was in, was it Dongzhimen in Beijing? And a big long table like this and everything, 25, 30 people, all the people from the studio, all the guys, all these big people. And I go in, me being me, as you can probably tell my personality. And this was 12 years ago, so I was even crazier then than I am now. And I just walked in and I just sat down in the middle seats. And my girlfriend's like, no, on, that's not. You need to sit here at the end seat. Obviously just respect. That's where Zhou Huajian and all the big people are going to sit. I was like, no. Okay, I just sit in the middle seat. That's fine. Don't worry about me. And she's like, and her boss, who's like my girlfriend at that time, her boss was like one of the biggest producers in China. I mean, still is. And she's looking at me and she's saying to me, she's like, no, Marshall, and she's like, what do you want me to do? Like physically drag him out of the seat? And I was just like, no, it's fine. Anyway, all of a sudden, Zhou Huajian and his whole entourage of people just breeze into the room, like just come in. And he's on the other, and they're like, okay, sit here. So we're basically just sat opposite each other. And you know what? He was, at that point, my Chinese wasn't really that great because I'd just met my girlfriend at that time. And after a year of being with her, you wouldn't believe it, but my Chinese was actually phenomenal at the end of that year. I spoke it so well. And he was so kind and so gracious the whole meal, because obviously everyone else is speaking Chinese, obviously the whole time. I couldn't keep up with. And he kept turning to me and just being like, Matt, are you okay? Tell me a little bit more about it. And just, through the evening, over the next couple of hours, he would just kind of come back to me and just make sure that I felt included. I think, isn't that beautiful? That's the quality of a person. And so because of that, I went off and I said, he was such a lovely man. And she said, yeah, he's incredible. She works with him a lot. And I said, what's some of his best songs? And she said, well, he has one song called Friend, Pangyo. And I was like, oh, I've got to learn that. And so I learned it. And then the final bit before the story, and I will sing the song and we will do one little bit more of content, is that many years later, so this was like 3 years ago, she messaged me. We still message from time to time, once a year, twice a year. And she said, you'll never guess who was in the studio to record his latest album or something. Zhou Huajian. And you know what he said? He said, where's that Lao Wai? Where's that white guy that, used to? And she was like, and when I heard this, I was like, oh, he remembers me. And, isn't that a beautiful story about some, really nice man? And that actually is, we're not quite at the end of the workshop, but that's a beautiful place to start coming into land, because that's really what all of this is about. It comes back to whenever you're speaking, whenever you're presenting, it's not about you. It's about how you connect. It's about how you make people feel. It's about making people feel better about themselves. And on that night, Zhou Huajian made me feel like I was 10 foot tall. And then a few years ago, when my ex-girlfriend said, oh, you never guess who I saw, and he was saying, where's that way? How is he doing? Like, oh. 这些年一个人放眼过雨也走，有过泪有过错，还记得坚持什么？真爱过才会懂，会寂寞会回首，总有。Oh, what am I doing? I'm singing the national anthem, aren't I?
Your mom.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Oh, God, I've lost my mind.
Well,
There we go. That's nerves for you. I was singing the right song, right?
yeah.
I was singing. Yeah, I don't know why I suddenly my brain was telling me that I was singing the national anthem. Sorry. Let me go again. Give me.
月亮代表我的心。
No, it's important. I really like to sing this song. 这些年一个人，风也过，雨也走，有过泪，有过错，还记得坚持什么？真爱过才会懂，会寂寞会回首，总有梦，总有你在心中。朋友一生一起走 ，together。那些日子不再有，一句话，一辈子，一生情，一杯酒。朋友不曾孤单过，一生朋友你会懂。还有伤，还有痛， Hi out, oh, hi, oh, whoa. Well done, guys. There you go. Right at the end of the workshop, I lost my mind. I suddenly think, am I singing the right song here? I know 3 songs. I know the national anthem. So I hope you all know God Save the King. God save. No, I don't, it's not a great national anthem. Guys, I'm just going to wrap up very quickly. The last point was storytelling. And storytelling is interesting. And I'll send this out to you because you're not going to remember this. And it's been a great workshop and I've loved the energy. But there's a simple structure of what we can do to remember good storytelling. And you can use it however simple. We're not going to do the activity, but go home and practice the activity, which is to write a simple story and to learn this. So you've got character, who's involved. So let's see if my story about Zhou Huajian follows this. Character, Zhou Huajian, myself. Context, why did it matter? The context of the story, well, it mattered because I didn't know anything, I didn't speak Chinese. The conflict, I sat at the middle chair and my ex-girlfriend was like, no, what are you doing? There wasn't really conflict, but the problem was I didn't really know anything, I didn't understand. The climax was how wonderful Zhou Huajian was. So you've got the character and the context, the people involved, the setting. Then you've got the problem, the conflict. Number 4 is the high point, the climax. What happens? How do you resolve that? What good thing happened, or how did you come through that? Well, we came through that because Zhou Huajian was lovely and he was so kind to me and so gracious. And then you've got the closure. So that's 5 C's. So we've all done, we did all C's tonight, and these are all C's, the 5 C's. And like I said, I'll send this out on the email. And then you summarize that. So storytelling is simple, but there is some methodology, there is some techniques as well. But the main thing is it all comes back to some of the themes that we've talked about from speaking from the heart. Talking from the heart, talking about things that matter to you. You know, you can see, for example, that story, like I love Zhou Huajian. I hope one day if I ever go back to China, I hope to meet him. Does anyone know, does he have a daughter? Maybe I can. Son. Oh, he has a son. Okay. I don't know if he has a daughter. Because I'm not married yet. And if he has a daughter, I'm sure. But my ex-girlfriend that's a terrible idea. But anyway, so a little practice for you is to, when you get this, and it will remind you, I'll send the email in the next day or 2, practice some just little, even just mentally, coming up with some stories. So guys, thank you so much for coming this evening. It's been a real pleasure and a real treat to be here with you. I have lots of these books. Don't know if anyone's a reader here, but if you'd like to buy a copy, come and speak to me at the end. Really nice way to spend 1 minute each day. Remember, fear is normal. Authenticity wins. Be yourself, shine, and learn to love yourself. It all comes back to that. Learn to love yourself and who you are. This applies, of course, not just speaking English here in London. It speaks with your friends at home, in China, wherever, any situation. Second thing, I challenge you all. Look for opportunities to speak in public, in whatever situation, even if it's just 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. You've all done it tonight. You've spoken. And like I said, I genuinely applaud you all. Like, I know how difficult it is to speak in Chinese. I can imagine it's very difficult for you to speak in English, because I know how difficult it is to speak in Chinese. So well done. But go out and test yourself. Put yourself in situations and step up. At work, if somebody says, oh, who wants to do the presentation? Yeah, I'll do it. And then thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this space tonight. Thank you, Stanley, for running CUK Run, for inviting me to come and talk and present this workshop. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you to Xiaomei.
Xiaomei.
She's on mute, but I'm sure she can hear me. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys. Does anybody want to say anything before we close?
Wembley Stadium.
When am I going to speak at Wembley? That is a great question, Peter.
It was an estimated year.
Well, what are we, 2025? I mean, hopefully by 2030. Hopefully by 2030. But that's a beautiful question. Thank you so much for asking that. And I throw that all back to you. Keep your dreams safe, protect your dreams, never give up on your dreams, always keep believing, right? Always keep going, be positive, be happy, try to help other people and have fun. So yeah, hopefully 2030. But you guys have helped me tonight, because without you all here, right, I'd just be speaking to an empty room. It doesn't work. So you've helped me to practice tonight, to practice what I love to do, which is to present and speak and talk. So guys, give the people next to you a high five. High five. High five. High five. High five. Stanley, thank you so much.
Can you tell us more about what coaching you're doing at the moment?
My coaching?
Yeah.
My coaching, yeah. So if you ever,
it's a business
if you're ever interested, or if you know people, I mean, at the moment I coach mainly one-to-one. So I have my book, I do some events like this, obviously, and I also do some coaching. So my clients are usually people in business in their 30s, in their 40s. And it's just really life strategy, helping them plot and chart their path of what they want to do, of what they want to create, what they want to achieve. I've been studying and practicing this stuff and doing the courses and doing the seminars my whole life. Like, I love personal development. So that's my person. I worked in fintech. I founded a fintech company with my brother, but my passion has always been the personal development. So I work with people one-to-one to help them get clear on their goals, kind of like all of that, but not just for public speaking, just for life, right? Getting confidence, getting clarity. What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? If I'm starting a business, how do we do it? How do we structure it? How do we strategize? And most of all, that mindset that is behind everything. Because if your mindset is positive and strong and robust and good, the things that you do will follow. And if it's not, you might get away with it for a period of time, but eventually everything will come tumbling down if your mindset's weakened. So that's just a little bit about my coaching. But guys, we'll stay connected. I've got your emails. I'll send a follow-up email, like I said, in the coming day or two with what we've done today. If any of you ever want to reach out, talk, or discuss anything further, please obviously do. And who knows? Yeah, hopefully we can arrange some more, topic discussions. There's plenty of material for us to work from.
So people, you want to know more about your business, can go to your website.
Yeah, I've got my website, which is just my name, mattmain.co.uk, mattmain.co.uk. And yeah, it's going to be, I'd love to stay connected with you all. I'm working on a lot of exciting things. I have a new mentor who is coming to my life this year, and he is an investment banker. And he worked at JP Morgan, very, very, very senior, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, very, very senior. And yeah, like I said, he's meeting someone tonight that was very, very close to Barack Obama. So that's the level that he's at. So he's helping me. We've got a lot of strategy for me for how we keep moving forward. So I want to share that with other people as well. But yeah, stay connected, guys. And let's all give ourselves a big round of applause for some thanks to you. Group photo, yes, yeah,
Okay.
yes. Of course. So